Hello everybody, it's Numerologist Michelle Buchanan here with your numerology forecast for June 2022. How are you? Are you making your way through the year okay? Can you believe at the end of this month we're going to be halfway through the year? Isn't that insane? Boy, time is really speeding up these days, isn't it? And that gives us an even greater incentive to raise our own energetic vibration, because we're being encouraged to reach a higher level of conscious awareness. We're being encouraged to start living from our higher self as opposed to our lower ego human lower self. And what does that mean for us as individuals? It means on one level that we really need to work on our stuff. We need to work on our own personal development and start making our way through some of the challenging aspects of our personalities that enable us to perceive ourselves, perceive our life, and to behave, think, feel, express ourselves from a higher frequency. We're no longer going to get away with just half-assing it. Now we're really being called to step up to the plate and be our greater self, making different decisions, perceiving things from a higher perspective instead of just from the physical, material, instantaneous view of sort of the smallness of just the here and now. There's something bigger going on. And honestly, if you haven't quite woken up to that yet, you want to get cracking, because time is speeding up. Things are speeding up. Things are amping up. And if you've got a higher vibration based on personal development work and self-awareness and self-love and a feeling of oneness and connection to everything and everyone around you, and if you are able to perceive yourself and this life from a broader perspective, which is understanding you are an energetic being, a spiritual being that is capable of creating as you express yourself through your thoughts and your words and your interpretations. Those thoughts and those words and those emotions that you have on a day-to-day basis, they're magnetic and they are creative, and you are a creative spiritual being. And you're not just this human being who believes in woo-woo things every now and again, or that believes and has a spiritual practice. You are a spiritual, energetic being having a physical human experience. And it's really important that you know that, like the back of your hand, and that you live that way. That is at the forefront of your mind as you go through and interpret the kind of things that happen to you, and how you view the world, and how you view the experiences you have, and how you view your challenges, and how you view other people, and how you see yourself in relationship to everything and everyone in this world around you. So it's really important that you start thinking from this higher perspective, because time isn't slowing down and going to wait for you and hang around. Things are still happening. So let's get this show on the road. So with that being said, this year, 2022, is a 6 universal year. And that 6 vibration is encouraging us to connect with other people, to connect and bond with, find our like-minded tribe, to find our soul family. And quite often for many people, it's not your actual blood family. It can be friends. It can be people that you haven't even known until just recently. You know, it's not a matter of how long you've known someone. It's a matter of how deep the vibe is, how deep the connection is. That mutual understanding, that feeling of camaraderie, that feeling of understanding that you share. And it's got nothing to do with minutes or hours or days or weeks. It's a feeling, it's a soul connection. And the 6 is encouraging us to sort of build these connections, to be open to them, to work on improving the existing relationships that we already have, even with people that aren't of our like-minded tribe. Still put some effort in to be a bit more understanding, a bit more compassionate, a bit more helpful where you can, a bit more selfless. All right, that's the energy of the 6. The energy of the 6 is about selflessness. It's about community. It's about family. It's about being there for those who need you, regardless of what you get or don't get in return. Because it's not about what you get back. It's a matter of what you give. And that goes across the board for everything in life. So often we go through life saying, oh, look, I'm not going to spend time with that person because they don't give me what I need. They don't give me enough. What do they do for me? And it's like, well, what do you do for them? Like, it's not always a matter of comparing apples with apples when it comes to the connections and the relationships we have with others. We do need to come from the mindset of we are here to be of service. We are here to be a selfless servant and expect nothing in return. Now, that's not to be confused with being treated like a piece of shit, excuse my language, and accepting it. That's different. That's about your own self-respect and your own boundaries and your issues that you may have with self-esteem and that sort of thing. And I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about people that have interactions with other people and they prevent themselves from doing something loving or being a shoulder to cry on or being helpful or offering some advice or being loving. That is being prevented. They are preventing themselves from behaving and thinking and feeling that way simply because they don't feel that that person has given that back to them. And that's not really the way we are wired, and that we are supposed to be of service to others. It's not really a comparing apples with apples thing. And that's what the 6 year is asking us to sort of get our head around this year, to sort of come from that mindset, to also come from the mindset that we are better when we work as a team, to not have this separation and this I'm going it alone, stuff the rest of you, I'm out of here. It's about how can we work together to get further together, like even if it's something, for example, of, the collective consciousness and mass or group meditations and visualizations are so much more powerful than just one individual person's meditation or visualization towards a common goal. And that's sort of where we're heading. We're being opened up to these ways of thinking and feeling and being and behaving and perceiving as we go through this year. Some people will feel that, know that on a deeper level, and it's right in the forefront of their mind, right in the forefront of their life. And others listen to this and go, oh God, that woman Michelle, she is off the planet. What a load of rubbish. And each to their own. Everyone's at a different stage in their journey, and it's no right or wrong. It just is. It is what it is, right? But for those of you that do resonate with what I'm saying, bear that in mind. So what do you want to know this year? First and foremost, you want to work on your relationship with yourself. Stop the self-criticism. Be aware of that voice that is telling you about everything that you're doing wrong, everything that's bad about you, every failure, everything that you're just, replaying all the past hurts, worrying about the hurts that can happen and the negative things that can happen to you in the present and the future. And so it's about being aware of that self-criticism and getting on top of it and learning to love and embrace yourself, warts and all, as you are right here, right now. It's about going into some of the relationships around you already and doing what you can to make them the best they can be without expecting anything in return, without you having an agenda, regardless of what they did or didn't do in the past. Just be the bigger person, reach out, and just tidy things up as best you can. Just imagine, hey, what if this person isn't here next week? What if this person isn't here in 2 months' time? I had an opportunity to let my pride push my pride to the side and be the bigger person and reach out to see if they're okay or to just heal whatever's wounded. But I didn't. Start coming from that sort of point of view. Another way that the 6 can influence our life is to spend as much time as we can in our home environment, getting it the most harmonious it can be. So the 6 relates to family, to the home, to gardening, to nature, to friendships, to parenting, co-parenting, step-parenting, being there as a positive influence in a child's life. It doesn't matter if they're your child. It doesn't matter if it's a relative's child. It can be any child. It could be a neighbor. It could be a work colleague's child. To be aware of that connection to children and how susceptible they are to the interactions they have in their early years. And so also, the 6th year this year is a good time to, have a makeover or to, if you want to look at things on more of a physical level, doing the best that you can to be as healthy in your mind and your body, to feel the best you can. And if that includes looking after your physical appearance, then go for it. Do whatever you need to do to feel better about yourself. And being aware that, we're all imperfect. And that's the beauty of it. We are perfectly imperfect. And it doesn't matter how spiritual, how positive, how good a person you are. We're all going to leave this world with more work to be done on ourselves. All of us are going to leave here a work in progress, because this isn't our only life, and the soul's journey is to evolve, grow, and develop and experience itself. So the soul, even our higher self and our soul energy, is not sort of going, oh, you bloody idiot, you should have done this. We've got to get everything mastered and completed so that you can be like Gandhi or Jesus before your last breath. It's not like that. The soul knows it's a work in progress, and there will be another life after this life. In fact, there are other lives pre-existing alongside this life, because we're living more than one at one time. But we won't go into that because it's a little bit too science fiction. But if you do want to know a bit more about those sorts of things, then Dolores Cannon is a fantastic author to see if you can track down some of her work. That'll really blow your mind, especially the Convoluted Universe books. Oh, love Dolores Cannon, and I love the QHHT, Quantum Hypnosis Healing Technique. Wow, that's mind-blowing stuff right there. Check it out if you're curious. So, let's have a look. With the 6th universal year that 2022 is, we are looking at the month of June. All right, so let's have a look now at the month of June and how that forecast for June influences all of your own individual personal year numbers for this year. Just before I show you how to calculate that and dive into the forecast, I need you to know that I am still running my 2 for the price of 1 numerology, personality profile, and 12-month forecast software reports. These reports are like 24 pages long. It's a chart of your whole, an explanation and a report of your whole chart from your birth certificate, name, and date of birth. It gives a 12 month-by-month forecast of what you can expect for the next 12 months. But also reveals your destiny number, your life path number, your cycles and forecasting numbers in your chart that tell you what's going on and why. All right, so they're 2 for $25. They're normally 1 for $25. Just go to my website, purchase, go under charts and reports, michellebuchanan.co.nz, click on personality profile and 12-month forecast report, purchase your first one as normal. And then when I send it back to you, I'm going to ask you for the details of your free second report. All right. Now let's move on to calculating your personal year number for this year. And this is your personal year number that you have for the whole year. So we're going to do this by adding the month and day, or day and month. It doesn't matter which order it's in. Let's go the day and month of your birth date to 2022. Now 2022 adds up to 6. So in other words, you can just add the day and month of your birth date to number 6, just to keep it simple. So let's use the example birth date, the day and month of the birth date, the 28th of March. So we would go, and we're going to add that to a 6, remember, for 2022. So we would go for the 28th of March, 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 6. All right, 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 6. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now, you're going to get a double-digit number when you do that quite often. Or you might get a single-digit number, and that would be so much easier if you did, so lucky you if you do. For those who end up with a double-digit number, you're going to add those 2 numbers together to get a single number between 1 and 9, and that is your personal year number for the year. Now, in this example, I got 19 for the 28th of March. I would then add the 1 and 9 together. 1 plus 9 equals 10. And then keep adding double numbers together until you get a single number between 1 and 9. So 1 plus 9 was 10, and then I go 1 plus 0 is 1. Now, if you're lucky enough to add your day and month of your birth date to number 6 and end up with a single number, that's your personal year number for the whole year. All right, so one last time. Add the day and month of your birth date to number 6. Keep adding any double-digit numbers together until you eventually get a single number between 1 and 9, and that's your personal year number for the whole year. So let's begin with the personal year forecast for personal year number 1. All right, this is a year of whole new beginnings, a whole new fresh start for you. And some of you, it will be very obvious. Like, for example, for me, I'm in a 1 year. And oh my goodness, I am totally moving to a whole different city, and I did not see that coming. I did not plan it. It happened so fast. It all happened in a matter of weeks. And I'm still freaking out. It's the most amazing, exciting thing, and I did not see it coming. So that's what's happening in my 1 year. Now, obviously, not everyone out is going to go through such a big dramatic change like I am. But whether it's a dramatic change or it's a subtle feeling that you feel like you need a fresh start, you feel like you need to think differently, live differently, maybe make some changes in your life. And some people, those changes will be big, obvious changes, and other people, they'll be very small, minor changes. It might be everything in your life is the same, like same home, same relationships, same job, but you feel different. Like it might be that you've really carried around the weight on your shoulders of some traumatic event that happened through family and childhood, and this is a year where you're ready to actually just let it go and to break free from carrying that heavy load around your whole life and just let it stay in the past and start this whole new free, like this feeling of freedom and freshness, that weight is no longer being lugged around on your shoulders, and you're free to be this new you and see the world through fresh eyes. It can be something like that. So for the month of June, life is encouraging you to go within, to not be so much focused on the physical world and the material things and doing and making things happen. It's actually about being. The more you are in connection with the world around you, and the more you slow things down, the more aware you become of what's going on around you. And if you slow down and you go within and you pay attention, you'll find that you're actually more in harmony and more connected to everything that's going on around you. Why? Because you've given yourself time to be that way. You're not running around distracted like a chicken with its head cut off. You're more present. You're more surrendering to what's going on around you because you have faith and trust in the universe that it's got your back and there is a divine plan and it's got your name on it. And everything will unfold in complete divine order and timing as it's meant to, for your good. And how do you get to that space? Well, first of all, you kind of want to have a spiritual relationship. So you want to, this is what June is about for you guys. It's about developing and solidifying a spiritual relationship with whatever it is you believe is the higher power, because there is something much greater than yourself, and it doesn't matter what the label of it is, it doesn't matter what it's called, you don't even need a name for it. You just need to know that all that is the mighty I am that you are, the mighty I am that I am, and it exists, and it's this benevolent force, and it knows you by name. And everything that happens in your life is not a coincidence. And the more that you understand and you relate to this beautiful divine power, and you embrace it in your life, and you have a relationship with it in your life, the more relaxed you will feel, the more trusting you will feel, and the more you're able to surrender and let life happen, rather than you feeling you have to be so controlling and manipulative and in a state of reaction and fear. So kind of the key to life, it's really a combination. It's a combination of understanding that you are a creative being that has come here to use and get familiar with your powers of manifestation and creation, your law of vibration, and your own managing your own energetic frequency. Because you are a creative being and you're here to learn how to manage that creative power and put your order into the universe and give it your energy and give it your attention, but at the same time understanding that you need to surrender and let the universe then take over, and that you are not in charge of everything, the universe is. So it's sort of a combination of both of those two things, and it's a really magical place to be in when you can get to that state, because it takes so much worry off your shoulders and it puts so much faith and trust in yourself and in life. And boy, I tell you, living this way and feeling this way is my greatest gift in life, because I'm so much calmer than I ever used to be, and I'm so much more trusting that, hey, whatever happens, I know I'll get through it because I know I'm not alone. And this is what you're being encouraged to sort of adopt, this kind of way of thinking and feeling and being this month. It is a month where you are being encouraged to go within, to work on your personal development, your self-awareness, your self-improvement, to work on developing and solidifying your relationship with source energy, whether it's through meditation, through prayer, through yoga, through spiritual development books or workshops, education, knowledge and wisdom. Definitely a time to spend more time in nature, to be less social and more quiet time alone. Animals, music, reading. That's a really good time for all those things, and studying. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 2. So you guys are in a 2 year, and of course it becomes more obvious from your birthday on. So for those of you who haven't had your birthday yet, and your birthday's at the second half of the year, you might not feel so 2-ish yet. But for those of you that have already had your birthday, then you're probably more likely to feel more of the 2 energy. And the 2 is kind of like a time to work on things behind the scenes, to work on getting everything balanced within yourself and in your emotions and in your own life. And so the 2 year is designed to amplify our emotions so that they can become so obvious to us. They highlight and amplify whatever is going on. So if it's repressed emotions and things from the past that haven't quite been ironed out, then they'll be amplified within you, so you can stop and take a look and you will pay attention. Because see, if they're not amplified, you won't notice them, you won't do anything about them. But if there's things that need to be worked on, if there's energy or emotions, which are basically emotions, energy in motion, if there's emotions and expression that needs to be released, like if you think about it, we are a complete energetic system, right? And every emotion that we have, every experience we have, every heartache, every challenge, everything, it is absorbed in every cell of our being, all right? And it's stored when it's not released in a healthy way. It sits there and it accumulates over time. And then every other sort of ongoing additional heartache, challenge, emotional situation that we have happen from that point on, it just snowballs. So it accumulates and it marinates. And so therefore it can sometimes come to a head. And when that happens, it's about releasing it. And so that's what the 2 can do. It can amplify things so that it can get your attention, and then you will go inward and go, oh, how do I release this in a healthy way so that I've got a clean slate now, I've let it go, I've expressed it out. So some people can feel quite emotional in a 2 year. And then others have already done that work as they've been going along. They're tracking really well. It's not a very dramatically emotional experience this year. In fact, it can even have the opposite. And we can all have the opposite in a 2 year, which is a lot of love. And that 2 energy is emotionally expressed through happiness, joy, creative expression, loving, happy, joyful emotions. So the 2 isn't just challenging emotions or heartfelt emotions in a sad way or an emotional, challenging way. It can be in a very positive way as well. Now, the 2 year is also encouraging us to get in balance. What is taking you to ask yourself, what is taking me out of balance? Am I out of balance because I'm worrying too much and I'm not trusting enough? Am I out of balance because I'm so focused in my mind and I'm not listening to my heart? Am I out of balance because I'm giving, and I'm not allowing myself to receive anything back? Or am I out of balance because I'm all about logic and I'm not about intuition? Am I out of balance because I'm working too hard and I'm not resting enough? Am I out of balance because I'm indulging in practices or foods or unhealthy behaviors that are not good for me, and I'm out of balance because I'm not doing enough of sorting myself out and becoming and behaving more healthier? So figure those things out and then work on tidying everything up and getting yourself in balance as you go through the year. And it's a really good time to do that, especially for the month of June, because you are in a month where it's about you reclaiming your personal power. It's about you first and foremost getting your finances in order. It's about you also looking at your career or your financial situation or your work situation and saying, what can I improve here? What changes need to be made, or what changes are going to be made that you have no control over? But it's also about you and your personal power and your relationship with others and yourself, and not allowing yourself to be disempowered by anyone or anything that causes you to feel disempowered. It's about you rising above, getting stronger, pulling yourself together, becoming more confident, becoming more trusting of yourself, becoming more aware of how you give your power away. And sometimes we give our power away not just to other people, but we give it away in situations. Fears, worries. A lot of people are worried that they're going to get really sick. A lot of people are worried that they're not going to be able to afford to survive with the prices of, fuel costs and food costs and all that's going on in the world. And it's a matter of you understanding that these thoughts, these worries, these fears, you are stronger than you are so much stronger than what they can do to you. Those thoughts, those worries, those fears. You can manifest yourself being okay by believing you will be okay and putting a lot of time, attention, and energy into that. And it's about you realizing just how powerful you are. And I always recommend to people that they read the book by Sandra Ann Taylor, Quantum Success, about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the law of paradoxical intent, the law of manifestation. There's so much for you to learn about these universal laws that help you to govern your world and help you to rise above whatever challenges you're going through and to be successful within your own self. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 3. You guys are in a year where it is very important that you speak your truth. It is very important that you get things off your chest, that you have conversations so that bygones can be bygones, so that you say what you feel and think rather than keep it trapped inside and holding on to it and just stewing on it and getting angry and not saying what you really think and feel. Because those thoughts and feelings that you're hiding, well, they still express themselves in other ways because it's energy. And energy will always manifest into physical form in some way. So that's why it's beneficial that you just express that energy in a healthy way by being truthful and authentic. Now also, this year is about you spending more time, as hard as it may seem, to be as happy as you can be. To choose to see the glass half full rather than the glass half empty. To be more optimistic than pessimistic. To go out of your way to do things that make you feel good and that are enjoyable for you. Whether it's having a conversation on the phone with a friend who makes you laugh. Whether it's watching reruns of Friends on Netflix. Whether it's listening to music that you haven't heard, like a record that you used to have when you were younger and you found the album on YouTube and you're listening to it and having a bit of a sing-along at home when no one's there listening, or in your car. These are things that make the heart sing, and this is what not only improves our health and well-being, it raises our vibration. Happiness and joy is something that can never be underestimated, and it's vital to our valuable life force energy of all that we are. So get some more of that in your bones, and you'll be good as gold. So now we're looking at the month of June for you, and this is a month of out with the old to make way for the new. It's a time of endings, completion for some people. So that could be anything from the end of a friendship. It could be the end of a period of time where you've done one thing for a long period of time and now you've grown out of it and you're like, I'm over that now, I'm not doing it anymore. It could be the end of a job for some people. It could be everything in your life is the same, but now it's the end of smoking, or it's the end of drinking, or it's the end of eating sugar, or it's the end of blaming your parents for something that happened to you when you were 35. Everyone's life is different. But this is a vibration of out with the old to make way for the new, because there is a new beginning, new opportunities coming to you this month and next month. So get out of your own way and don't hold back the train. Let it go, careering down the tracks and opening to new opportunities for you. But you have to let go of the old before the new can come through that door. So out with the old to make way for the new. Great time to work on forgiveness, putting the past and leaving the past in the past, and seeing the world through new eyes. I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 4. You guys are in a year of head down, bum up. Getting the work done, whatever needs to be done, do it. And that's in your personal life, that's in your work life, that's with finances, that's with health and well-being, that's with your own emotional stability, that's with working on issues of your personality that you know you need to work on to be more self-disciplined, to become the better person that you can be. The 4 year is, hey, effort is required. I'm not going to lie, it's a year where you have to get off your butt and do some work. It's not going to come to you. You have to go out there and make it happen. Now, Don't worry if there are delays and obstacles and things are quite slow and heavy going at times, because that is the nature of the 4 energy. It's very slow, dense sort of energy, and you might want to go galloping ahead or guns blazing and you're like, what's going on? Nothing's really happening because I'm out here trying to make things happen, but the doors aren't opening. And it's a matter of, you really have to be patient. All right, you really have to be patient and you have to be tolerant, because it's not an easy vibe if you want things to happen on your timeline when you want them, when the universe has got to catch up. The universe has got its own thing going on, and that's in charge, not you. So this is a month, for June is a month of new beginnings for you. So if there's something you've been working on and you want to launch it, or you want to start it, or you want it to kick off, things might start happening for you this month. You might start seeing evidence that, you know, things are really starting to happen. So green light is going. Green light is, you know, all guns blazing. You can take action and start to see results this month. So it is a good combination of numbers that you're in for June for the 4 year, because the 4 year is typically quite slow, but I think there is a window of time in this 1 month where things might speed up and you might start getting some headway. So don't stop, keep going, put in your efforts, don't give up yet, because it might slow down again in July. So make the most of June, all right? That window of time there, go out there, take the world by storm, take the bull by the horns, green lights blazing, make things happen. I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 5. You guys are in a year of change. Now, it's a year where unexpected things can cross your path. Like, you can feel like, what the heck is that? I did not see that coming. I did not expect to hear that news. I did not expect to be in this situation. I didn't even see it coming. Other people, it's a vibration or a year where it's really good if there are changes that you consciously and deliberately want to make, and you're ready to make them. Do it. It's a year where people that know they need to make changes, but they're not, really should do it anyway, even though you don't want to make the changes. I encourage you to make the changes you know you need to make, because when there are changes that need to be made and you don't make them, sometimes they can be forced upon you, and that can not always be in a pleasant way, because isn't it better to be more proactive and more in the driver's seat and a little bit more in control of some of these things that happen that need to be made, rather than procrastinating and being too fearful or just lazy and not doing anything, and then boom, they happen to you when you least expect it, and then you're running around chasing your tail. That's not cool. So be, as proactive as you can if there are changes that need to be made. It is a year where there is still plenty of adventure to be had. So it's a year that can be topsy-turvy, highs, lows. Wow, things can be really quick and fast, and a lot going on, a very busy year, highs and lows, really exciting things and surprises in the challenging and in the optimistic and positive as well. So, it all depends on what's going on out there, and everyone's lives are different, but it's certainly not a boring year where nothing happens. There's definitely going to be a lot happen. Now, for this month of June, you are in a month where your emotions are going to take center stage. So you may find that it's quite an emotional year for some of you, and that's not a bad thing. It's important that when you are feeling strong emotions that you express them, especially if it's empathy, especially if it's loss or sadness, especially if it's any emotional pain from the past or whatever. It's important that you acknowledge your emotions, that you acknowledge them. Don't push them away and try and repress them. Just say, look, this is uncomfortable, this is painful, or this is beautiful, or I'm just going to experience you. I'm not going to push you away. I'm going to bring you out, and I'm going to sit with you. And I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to feel you, and I'm going to acknowledge you, and I'm going to give you the respect that you deserve. Because when you don't do that, and if you don't do that consistently and persistently, then that's where those emotions, that energy, will stay in your life force energy. And like I said, it will percolate, it will marinate, it'll grow over time, and then it could turn into an illness, or it could turn into a big problem further down the line in your life. You don't want that. To be healthy, you want to address them when they come up. You want to give them the respect they deserve. Don't be afraid of them. Don't think you're going to collapse into a heap. And you know what? Even if you did collapse into a heap on the floor for a period of time, that's a really good thing. It really, really honestly is. So obviously not everybody's going to be having challenging emotions. Some of you are going to be having a fantastic emotional experience this month. And the emotions you feel are going to be of joy and appreciation and gratitude and happiness and love and abundance and just connection and heartfelt emotions and just that loving, connected vibe where you know you're not alone and you feel so in connection with everything. You feel the oneness of everything and all that is around you. And you're so grateful for life and the things that happen to you and that are happening now. So a great combination of numbers for those who want to have deeper, meaningful connections with other people. Who want to clear the air, who want to have those conversations that might be a bit awkward, but when you have them, you feel so much better for doing so, and you feel so much closer to someone. And it's also a combination of numbers to have a lot of self-love and self-forgiveness and self-understanding. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 6. You guys are in a year of you're in harmony with the universal year. Because your personal year number will always be the same as a universal year number. So, it's about you being, more involved with people around you, community, work colleagues, friends, neighbours, family members, children, stepchildren, or just you spending more time with working on your relationship with you, because that is a relationship. In fact, that's the first and foremost relationship of our life, is the relationship with ourselves. And, the 6th year is going to amplify the theme of perfectionism. So it really is an opportunity for us to accept the imperfection in ourselves, first and foremost, in others, and in the world itself. The world is imperfect. People are imperfect. Governments are fuck-ups and, imperfect. There are so many clowns in the circus, in this game of life, but it was meant to be that way, because we learn and we grow so much more when everything's not perfect. We grow and stretch ourselves so much more, and the soul is so much more stimulated and challenged when it has to work. Because trust me, if everything was perfect here, or everything was amazing, where everyone got along and there was peace and harmony everywhere and the governments were honest and everything was wonderful, we wouldn't probably be here, because we wouldn't really have that much to learn. This would be the holiday planet, where you come, you would have a lifetime and you laze around in the sun, because there really isn't much to do because it's so perfect. That's just not Earth. Earth is... At this stage, Earth in this dimension it's about learning and growing and developing. But at the same time, seeing it for what's that game, that virtual reality that it is. It's personal, but it's not really that personal. And, yeah. So you guys are in that combination of numbers where you're in harmony with the universal year. So it's really about being that shoulder to cry on. Work on your issues with perfectionism. Be there for people who need you. Be a selfless servant. And the month of June is about you and bringing more joy into your life. Being open to having more fun in your life. Doing more of what feels good. Getting things off your chest. Expressing yourself. Being authentic about and honest about what you really think and feel, especially when it comes to the relationships that you have with other people. Be honest, have those conversations, clear the air, and reach a deeper connection, a more honest, authentic connection with other people, because you're being more honest and authentic about who you really are and what your needs and wants are and how you really think and feel. And have more fun. All right. Now move on now to personal year number 7. You guys are in a year that really is about you going within, getting to know yourself better, slowing down, getting away from the hustle and bustle of life and the distractions of devices and people and things and stuff in the material world, and being able to detach from that, disconnect from that, and unplug and sit with the simpleness and the rawness of just you and your presence in this world. And ask yourself, who am I? What do I believe in? What What is the meaning of my life? What do I believe is the meaning of this world? What do I need? What do I want? What really makes me happy? What's holding me back from having that? What's holding me back from being happy? What are my fears? Why do I have them? How do I overcome them? Like, go within and ask these big, deep and meaningful questions. Work on your personal growth. Work on your self-improvement. And most importantly this year, solidify and develop and amplify and grow your relationship with your spiritual self, with your relationship with source energy, and uncover the secrets and mysteries of the universe that you cannot see with the physical eye, but they are so much more than the physical world. And the more that you develop this side of yourself, and the more in alignment you will be, the higher your vibration will be, the happier you are going to be, especially as you move into your 8 year of manifestation next year. So spend more time in nature. Let go and let God. Pray, meditate, do whatever it is that makes you feel closer to the world, to nature. Spend more time in nature. Animals, music, healthy eating. Look at your health and well-being. Look at what's important and what's not. And step away from the material world, the bullshit, the news, what the Joneses are doing and keeping up with the Joneses and all the bullshit crap on the hamster wheel. Try and break away from all of that, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes a day, and just connect in with yourself, connect in with the universe, connect in with nature. Simple is so much more powerful than all these things, these big, beautiful, pretty, shiny things. And the older you get, the more you realize that. So for the month of June, it's about the month of June for you is actually about head down, bum up. It's a month that's going to require you to put effort in to get where you want to get. So if you want to be happier, you're going to need to put effort in to be a bit more happy. See the glass half full, more optimistic than pessimistic. If you want to have more money in your pocket, you're going to have to work harder at managing your spending, budgeting your finances. If you want to be healthier, you're going to have to put effort in to treat your body better, to eat better, to have healthier practices, to be less negative. If you want to advance in your career, you're going to have to work harder this month to do the work that's needed to get you where you need to be. You're in the month of 4, which is, effort is required to get where you want to get. How do I get the month of 4? Because you are in a 7 year. Okay, so we take your personal year number 7 and we add it to the month that we're inquiring about. So we're inquiring about June. June is a 6 month. So we add the 6 for June to your 7 year. 6 and 7 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So that means you're in a 13-4 personal month. And that is about effort, putting in the effort to get what you want. All right, so don't be lazy. Don't expect things to just fall in your lap. Get off your ass and get out there and make it happen. All right, personal year number 8. You guys are in a year where you are really learning about the law of attraction and how powerful you are in that process. You are a creative being. You are a spiritual being. It is your birthright to be able to manifest and attract into your life whatever it is you're projecting out. But the key word here is whatever you're projecting out. You're creating it every moment. It's a matter of what you're creating. That's the key theme here. And what you're creating is determined by your perception, how you view yourself, how you perceive yourself in life. And how much attention you give. How much attention do you give to what you want? Do you give enough attention to that, or do you give most of your attention to what you currently don't have? Do you focus most of your attention on what you want and how good it can be, or are you focusing most of your attention, your thoughts and words and conversations and worries on what's not happening and how bad things are? Because it's really just like a set of scales. You will attract whatever scale is weighed down on either side. And if the scales are weighed down mostly on all your thoughts and words and conversations and behaviors that are based on what's wrong, what you don't have, what you wish you had but you don't have, and how miserable you are and what's going wrong and how much of an idiot that person is and how bad that is over there and how it's not fair about this and it's not fair about that and all the crazy stuff about the past or the worries about the future, then you're going to be attracting more of that. So it really is about that. And if you want to know how to do that in a more effective way, you get the book Quantum Success by Sandra Ann Taylor. She's going to teach you all about those universal laws that we are governed by. It is a year for you to embrace your self-empowerment, for you to be more in control of yourself, more confident in yourself, less likely to siphon your valuable life force energy with things that disempower you, such as addictions, such as limiting beliefs and limiting behaviors, patterns of behavior that do not serve you, unhealthy beliefs, unhealthy triggers and patterns. It's about looking at all of those and rising above them so that you are more empowered rather than disempowered. And, you know, for the month of June, it's a month of change. Anything can happen, and it usually does. Wow, this is a really dynamic combination of numbers where anything can happen, and it usually does. So be aware that if there's something that you want to go for, don't discount the fact that it might not be possible. Dare to dream. Dare to believe that it might be possible, because you just don't know. It is a combination of numbers where change can happen. Things can come from left field that you did not see coming. So you want to be really adaptable, really flexible. This is an adventurous vibration as well. So if you want to have some fun and adventure, go for it. But just make sure you're responsible in your, as you experience that, be responsible about it. If there are changes that need to be made in your life, now's the time to make them. And be proactive about that. And if you can take a vacation or try some new things, be a bit more daring and a bit more adventurous this month. And be adaptable and flexible. Don't have your plans too set in stone, just in case something comes from left field. Plans change, then you can still bounce and land on your feet. Be flexible and adaptable. Don't be too set in stone and too rigid. All right. I'll leave you with that, and I'll move on now to personal year number 9. You guys are in a year of out with the old to make way for the new. It is a year of endings, and it is a year of transformation, where you are going from one phase of your development into a new phase next year. And you're graduating, so it's about fine-tuning and, clearing out your closet, whether it's literally a closet and cleaning your home space or your workspace, or clearing things out and letting go of the past and, giving things away or donating things, or just throwing out things you don't need anymore. Lightening your load physically and lightening your load mentally and emotionally. Letting go of the past, not carrying around all the wounds and all the fears and all the worries and stuff. Just having that clean slate and working on what you need to do to be able to have that, what you need to do to be able to be that person, and fine-tuning yourself. You are transforming from the chrysalis into the butterfly this year as this year progresses, okay? So be aware of that. Now, this is a month of family, relationships. People may need you. You may be that shoulder to cry on. You may be asked to be of service. You may have relationship issues that have been brewing beneath the surface, may rise to be, looked at. And they can be relationships with all kinds of people. Neighbors, roommates, friends, work colleagues, parents, children, family members, in-laws, community, people at the, people that in your community and sports groups, or just people in general. Issues that need to be worked out, things that you didn't see coming. Some people in this combination of numbers can have some sort of, relationships ending, relationships mending, relationships changing their dynamic. So some are resolvable, and it is a time to work on, fixing things, making them better than they were before. Other people, it's time to out with the old to make way for the new. It's time to end things. It's come to its conclusion. The soul contract is over, so it's time to walk away. And then other people can have new relationships begin. So either way, be the person that's understanding, be compassionate, be the bigger person, create peace and harmony wherever you can, whether it's your fault or not. Just be a person that's here to see through the eyes of love, that's here to create peace and harmony in your own life and others' lives as best you can, and be as encouraging and understanding of others as you can be, and less perfectionist, and less of a perfectionist. All right, I'll leave that with you. I wish you the very best, and I will talk to you again on the 1st of July. Have a great month. Bye.